Oh, baby. Welcome in All-America Cup Series Thursdays, Season 11, Race 12 of the season, right here at Nashville. It's Rowdy up in the booth, and I'm joined by none other than the driver of the 8-car. Injury takes him out, puts him in the booth. Kyle Ether, what's going on, man?
Not much. We're back again. Still waiting on the surgery and lit up and ready to call this thing. I'm happy to be in the booth. It was fun last week. It'll be fun again.
Last week's winner at Sonoma, Jared Ray Hutton, takes the pole at Nashville. Let's go ahead and talk to him, Kyle.
Yep.
Jared Ray Hutton, though, and Kyle up at the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All righty. Well, you lead every competitive lap last week at Sonoma. We qualify on pole for Nashville. Very different tracks. Have you just brought a lot of speed for us the later half of the season?
I don't know how I got on pole here, I'm going to be honest. I even told Ethan, yeah, that was a bit of a mystery. But, I mean, best place to start the race, so we'll see what happens.
And, Jared, I do want to bring up, you're the only person in the 29-second bracket. That's got to make you feel good, don't it?
It makes me feel first.
Makes me feel first. All righty, we're going to go ahead and send him back down. Thank you so much, Jared. Have a good race.
Yeah, good luck, Jared.
We'll send Jared back down. Next time by, we'll see the green flag. Kyle, 150 laps around Nashville, and it's going to be one of the last mile and a halves. Now, they call it Nashville Super Speedway, but it's anything like that. A lot of on-the-brake time. You got to pick up the throttle in very specific moments to be the fastest around here. What should we expect out of this field?
Yeah, this track, it's weird. It's almost, you almost want to run it like Dover because of the concrete. You got to be very careful on the right front. Definitely going to use a lot of brake into these corners. I think the fast line around here is going to be ripping the bottom. I think you're going to make passes through that middle lane, though, if you could pin somebody on the bottom. Looks like you get about 42-ish laps of fuel, so we're going to have a few pit stops. Could see some strategy again. Should be a great race.
Absolutely. So Jared Ray Hutton will lead them to green. To his outside, standout rookie leading the top rookie standings. 2 wins this season, Andrew Skelnick. And then Zach Rogers, first career start for him this season, I believe, at least in the last few races. Ethan Again, Justin Ray, Michael Mullins, Curtis White, Justin Thompson. Your top handful of the rows. Daniel Giro, Matthew Weeks round out the top 10. Green flag is up. Green flag is out. The Nashville 200 is underway here in Tennessee.
A little stack up in the back there. Everybody gets off pretty clean, though.
And already Andrew Skelnick doing what he does best, and that's go on the attack. He'll even take the lead as they come out of turn 2. Jared Ray Hutton second, and Zach Rogers in the 4 machine in the 3rd spot. Jared Ray Hutton looks back up inside. He got a little loose. A lot of cars getting squirrely right now, Kyle.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the tires are going to wear running that outside. I feel like the bottom is the place to save them. You really got to save them here, so we'll see how that works. That's to see Andrew get back to the bottom as fast as he could there.
So Zach Rogers to the outside of Jared Ray Hutton right now. Kyle, can you give me information on who Zach Rogers is? Is he a All-America Cup Series veteran that's making a start late in the season? Where is he coming from? Is he a stand-in maybe?
Yeah, Zach's a veteran actually from before even my time here. I believe one of the originals, season 2 or 3. He hasn't raced as much the last few seasons, but when he's here, he's always been pretty fast. So I believe he's won quite a few races back in the day.
Right now, Jared Ray Hutton going backwards. Michael Mullen contact with Justin Thompson. Both of those cars had to save it. Yeah, that's absolutely true, Kyle. So Jared Ray Hutton, he's going backwards right now, but I think he's trying to go into tire safe mode. He's giving guys plenty of room. Justin Thompson will go by on the inside. Behind him, the 63 of Curtis White. I believe he's I think it's 90 points off of Casey Carrington's point lead for the championship right now. So Carrington, your league owner, pretty much has it locked up with 2 career wins this season. But Curtis White has been very consistent. Underneath him, Matthew Weeks, handful of starts, has had some good runs, came close to winning. I believe it was Texas. So a lot of guys in this top 10 with a lot of speed, but it's your rookie, Andrew Skelnick, who will lead lap number 4, begin lap number 5. And we're still dogfighting back here.
Yeah, some good battles in the middle of the pack. Kind of Casey on back there.
Dylan Rosenberg on the inside of the 21 of Christopher Murphy. That's a battle for 14th right now. Murphy owns the 99 at Dayton Taylor. Another guy who finds his way into the top 5 and not a good qualifying position for him for here at Nashville. Him and Rosenberg have been pretty matched. Christopher Murphy, kind of your solid top 15 gatekeeper. And they're all trying to fight their way into the top 10 to push the top 10. They'll be there late in the race.
Yeah, right now, especially
6/10 of a second. Go ahead.
As I say, now especially up in the front, as they get strung out, they're definitely going to want to focus on tire saving here. Right now, it's looking like it could be a long run. When we went to Nashville last time, it was 14 cautions we had. So far, not on pace to match that. We're looking good so far. But the track looks a lot grippier tonight.
Single file right now.
Yeah. I think this night race is helping the track be a little grippy. One of the few night races on the schedule.
Josh Dillon, he's to the outside right now. That 18 machine. Oh, the 92. He gets a little sideways. That's Daniel Giroux. They're going to come back in the Extends car.
Good to see the Extends mobile back out there.
You're a big Extends fan?
You know, I am. I haven't used it myself, but I've heard great things.
Oh. All righty, Andrew Skelnick out front. There's jokes I want to make. We're not deep enough in the show for. Zach Rogers second, Ethan again third, and Justin Thompson making his return on this kind of super part-time season. He's going to be in the 4th spot. Jared Ray Hunt, your pole sitter 5th. Matthew Weeks 6th. Michael Mullins 7th. Curtis White 8th. Lil Peters into the 9th spot. And Casey Carrington locked up the championship. Series owner at 10th right now. He's got Justin Ray and Chris Sorrell behind him. I saw a couple of cars brushing the outside wall on corner exit up there.
Yeah, it's tough. If you miss the exit just a little bit with the throttle, it's going to push right up into that wall. This is like, it's kind of almost like I said, Dover, where the track just flattens out real. Whoa, someone's in the grass. I just saw a car.
That's Curtis White.
Yeah, Curtis White.
Curtis White down in the green, not in the fairway. He is going to have to re-enter the track. We have an instant report. Not sure what happened. No yellow. Let's take a look at the replay, Kyle. What happens?
Wow. Yeah, with no yellow, that's going to be huge for Curtis. He's running top 10.
So behind him, Lil Peters throttling up on exit.
Ooh.
Will get into his tail. And that's kind of a classic 1.5 mile accident you see quite a bit. Guys will throttle up and the car in front of them, not so much.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe Curtis a little tight off the corner, wasn't back to the throttle as quick. Lilith maybe thought he was going to be, just got into him there.
So Andrew Skelnick still out front, 7/10 of a second. Zach Rogers trying to keep him under a second gap. Ethan again, the 97 third. Justin Thompson, Jared Ray Hunton still your top 5. Closest battle on track, closest to the front. We got to look all the way back to the 17th spot. Christian Strader, the 20 machine, was making a move on Thomas Stokes. Looks like we had a lift out of the throttle since then. They were side by side, but now it appears everybody single file around Nashville.
Yeah, and it looks like right now Skelnick looking for his 3rd win on the year, pulling away from Zach Rogers a little bit here. Starting to open up that gap, 7.5 or 3/4 of a second rather.
And we won't know if Andrew Skelnick's really been wearing out those tires with this lead. You know, Zach Rogers trying to maintain the same gap. He hasn't really fallen off. But will the rest of the field kind of reel them in? We've seen that a handful of times this season. You know, there are certain cars on the surface where you can push a little bit with your lead, but then because of the clean air, stay out front a lot better. With these cars, it feels like you almost hit a plateau with the tires, then anybody could pass you. I mean, I think we remember back at, we talked about Matthew Weeks just before this, but I believe it was at Legacy, Texas. He passed like 18 cars in one green flag run because he saved his tires. It's very possible to do in the Gen 4s. Christopher Murphy outside of Thomas Stokes.
Yeah, and guys like Matthew. Yep, guys like Matthew, Dayton there. A few of those guys. Casey, of course, really good at tire saving. So you'll expect to see them continue to move forward as this run goes on. Surprised to see Dayton so far back. Usually closer to the front. Maybe not the biggest Nashville fan.
Yeah, Christopher Murphy to his outside, kind of a top 15 gatekeeper here in the All-American Cup Series. Can put together solid runs consistently. Dayton Taylor, we've seen him as far as having the lead to, well, he's going to get passed by Christopher Murphy and drop to that 15th position. Nathan Jurgensen, kind of the same story. He's another one of those top rookies. He's also in the 13th spot. A lot of faster guys just probably going to have to pluck their way through this field if they can, slowly and methodically, and maybe have the goal of a top 10 finish. Where else can you go in a mile and a half that takes so long to make up positions? Whereas Matthew Weeks now passing pole sitter Jared Ray Hutton for the 5th spot on board.
Yep, and here's where I feel like we're about 15 laps into this run, getting close to halfway through it. This is where Matthew's going to really start to move forward, I think. Always fast on the long runs.
Jared Ray Hutton giving him a little bit of sign draft here, bring him back even as they go into turn 1. Matthew Weeks is able to wrap the bottom. He doesn't push up at all. It's still a solid line to save tire, even if Jared Ray Hutton has the run on the exit of 2, which he will have. And Matthew could just continue to work on him. He has the advantage back into 3. You can play defense on that top line if you can pinch the guy low, but when the driver low decides, hey, I'm just going to wrap the bottom and be patient, I'll give you 10 laps to clear you, you're kind of just stuck out there. Maybe you got to lift a little bit, get back in line, because Matthew Weeks is driving correctly right now at not letting Jared have at least a tire advantage if he does clear him. And Jared will keep it even. He wants to hang on to that top 5, I'm sure.
Yeah, Matthew doing it very methodically, trying not to burn his stuff up, while Jared's kind of probably burning up a little bit trying to race him here, especially on that outside. Matthew finally going to clear him. Yep.
Thomas Stokes, Christopher Murphy, dicing it up.
Ooh, another new paint for Thomas this week.
I thought he ran out of Mike and Ike flavors. What's on the car now?
I'm not. What is that?
Two-Door Racing Club.
Okay. New sponsor for the 66 this week.
Well, he kept spilling Mike and Ike's all over the track. I'm not surprised. It's something a little bit different. I do like that gold and black. It looks sweet.
Especially here under the lights.
Oh, close! I was going to say Christopher Murphy is going backwards, though. Remember, he got around Dayton Taylor. Now he's back trying to defend 15th from Thomas Stokes. And here comes the 20 car trying to interject into this battle of Christian Strader, another rookie in the Jurassic Park machine, Jurassic Park 3 to be exact. Christopher Murphy will re-clear. Thomas Stokes hangs on to 16th. And Andrew Skelnick, almost a 1 second gap to Zach Rogers. He gained another 10th since the last time we talked about him. Ethan again has gotten about half a 10th gain on Zach Rogers. He's very patient. Listen to him wrap that yellow line. Easy back on the throttle.
Another new paint as well. That first time seeing him in the Jegsmobile. Usually he's in all black.
He wants to be all yellow today. It almost looks like the iRacing default schemes. I don't know if he removed his trading paint scheme or not. But big old school bus out there right now. But he's driving like a race car. That's what matters. Justin Thompson behind him. 4th place right now. And technically when we talk about Justin, there's only a few races where he's not in that top 3 or even not in that top 5, maybe 1 or 2 other times, not counting the road course of last week. So a quiet day for him could be 5th place. That's a lot to say about a guy who isn't even in the battle for the championship. Again, part-time schedule. If he was full-time, man, I guarantee you him and Casey Carrington would be putting on a show.
I agree. He was probably one of the closest next to Curtis and Michael in points before he started missing. I believe he missed, I'm trying to think. Charlotte was maybe his first miss. And then he missed 3 in a row there, really took him out of contention. But he's still actually top 12 in points, so still has a chance at a top 10 in points this year, even despite missing 3 races.
Teammates going at it. Chris Worrell, Lil Peters. Worrell will go into 9th. He started just outside that top 10. Lil Peters will drop to 10th. Behind is the 38 of Justin Ray. The pair trails behind Casey Carrington, who's slowly reeling in Michael Mullins at the moment for the 7th spot.
Casey always done pretty well here at Nashville, his home track. He's from around the area, so what a place it could be. I believe he's up 70 on Curtis, so he certainly could lock up the championship at his home track tonight. Be pretty big for him.
And he's really reeled in Michael Mullins. That gap has shrunk significantly. Mullins is missing the bottom. Maybe that car is already getting tight. We haven't seen him really aggressively battling for position either, so it just seems like he doesn't have the car with him tonight, at least for this first run. Here comes Chris Worrell.
Looks like Weeks has also caught Justin Thompson. There you go, there he goes, making a move.
Down to the bottom, and Justin Thompson's moved all the way up to nearly the third line. I don't know if there's an advantage up there unless he's just very uncomfortable with the car.
That almost looked like he let him have it. Usually you know when Justin's going to race you, and I'd say Justin let him have that one.
Jared Ray Hutton watches that from the 6th spot. Here comes Michael Mullins and Casey Carrington. Mullins is running down Hutton, even though he's a lane up from the bottom. But again, Carrington will probably catch Mullins before the pair get to your pole sitter.
Looks like the leaders are working around their first lap car of the night. I got to shout him out. The GOAT himself, the Real American Beer Chevy, Dominic Russo.
We did get an off-track incident report from Dominic Russo while we were watching the Curtis White incident. We kind of ignored it, expected it to maybe something like a grass clip, but it took him off the pace and has brought him to a lap down in 27th, so possibly a spin off of turn 4 like you see at a lot of mile-and-a-halves for Dominic Russo in that 47. Oh, I thought he was going to clip Carrington there. We both felt it. A lot of red, white, and blue right there.
Oh, now, I'll tell you, Casey will appreciate this. He's seen that move before, and as they're talking about that move, Dom has maybe clipped Casey in a situation similar to that in another league before, so Casey with some war flashbacks right there, perhaps.
Oh, no. Here he goes on Mullins.
Yep.
Mullins
Michael lets him have it. Yep. Oh, well. Yeah,
I think Mullins is going to take that run where it goes. He was able to drive it. That's probably the first time Mullins has hit the apex of turns 3 and 4. He gained some speed. Maybe he'll try that from now on. Hey, I'll sacrifice some more entry speed if it means I can rotate a bit better. But again, he misses the bottom. And here comes Chris Worrell.
Yeah, you can tell that 64 car very tight. You can see he's just unable to hit the bottom. And there he gets the apron there.
A little bit too much of the bottom. Grabs the apron, shoots him up.
Yeah, Chris should make pretty quick work of him. Chris has been one of the faster cars on the racetrack.
Chris Worrell came close to winning at Vegas. Felt like he got robbed of that one. Pretty quick guy.
Ooh.
Michael Mullins into pit road.
Wow, an early
10
pit stop
laps
here.
before the fuel tank, correct?
Yeah, they could have done about 42 laps, I believe, based on my calculations when I hopped in the race car. So this could be, though, where he's going to say you have to make a certain amount of pit stops, maybe get the most out of the tires and short pitted here.
Dominic Russo
Russo's.
missed pit road entry. Yeah. He found the grass, but he tried to follow him down. This is not the first time Michael Mullins has done this strategy, by the way. I've seen him be outside the top 10 in short pit. He was inside the top 10. I think you could hang around a little bit longer, but it's his strategy. He's comfortable with it. And so everybody will cycle up a position. Does that open the door for anybody else to attempt a short pit? I don't think so. But I want to go on board with Dominic Russo and watch this pit road entry replay.
Oh my!
Late entry. I mean,
sounded like he blew up as well.
Let's go back a little bit further. I don't think so. Did he?
Interesting.
He's letting the guys underneath him go by so we can get into.
No. Yeah, that was just me listening to the brake lockup.
Well, at least he did it safely for the cars around him, but for himself, a little awkward.
Yeah, that was a Quinn Hoff pit entrance for sure right there. He would appreciate that one. Shout out to Quinn Hoff.
Shout out Quinn Hoff. Oh no.
I wonder what he's been up to. Kind of vanished.
Probably back at his local short track driving a late model, I would assume, right? Unless he's out of money. I don't know.
Sure, he still has the funds coming in.
It's
back
the
to
nut,
Michael
Walker
Mullins, though.
McNulty right now. He is about to pass Nathan Jurgensen for that 14th spot. You want to go back to Michael Mullins?
Yeah, he was the only car who made that pit stop that early, so he's really relying on this strategy to try to work. He did not pull anyone else in with him. I guess if it's going to go green, I don't mind the strategy, but it seems like as Lilith comes off, it seems like short pitting this year has been tough to do with the way the cautions have been falling.
Jurgensen will follow Lilith down into pit road. Seems like Lilith only tries the strategy when she's not in that top 5 scenario. So similar to Mullins. All right, I'm not top 5 quick enough for this run. I'll try something different. I think that's more of a cope. I don't think that's successful in my personal strategy book. I think if you're going to be a top 10 car, you got to continue to be a top 10 car. A lot of guys take a 10th place car and they'll send it to 15th by the time a run is over off of a short pit. But a lot more guys heading down pit road now. Again, this looks to be right around 6 laps before the fuel tank. Are they just that uncomfortable with how tight they are?
I think at this point as well, they're pretty much in the window from here where you can make it on probably 2 more stops. So if you're, I guess, just not handling, you're falling back. I've noticed the last few laps, some guys are falling off half a second to a second a lap. It's time to get in there and get the tires. They feel like if they're around the guys they're battling.
A lot of drivers headed now. Husby, Flanagan, Murphy, your first handful. So Andrew Skelnick's still out there yet to pit. And the majority of your leaders are still out on track. Your top 5 has yet to change. Andrew Skelnick, Zach Rogers, Ethan again, Matthew Weeks, Justin Thompson. Your pole sitter, Jared Ray Hunton, 6th right now. I do understand there may be some visual issues when we cut from replay to live. Not sure what that is, why there's a temporary black screen after the buffer, but we'll probably make a change here soon on that for you guys, if possible. Pit cycles have started. Your leaders opt to stay out to the end of the fuel tank, and that's probably the difference in comfortability right now between a car that has been saving tire yet being fast and the guys that thought they were saving tire who were plowing sights.
Yeah, and I feel like Andrew's definitely gonna, I would, if I were him, probably wait to see if when Zach, he's got a big enough lead now where he can kind of go a lap later than Zach and probably still hold the lead and have a tire advantage as well. They should be getting into the final few laps of the cycle here, though. Looks like Casey just pulled off.
Yeah, Casey Carrington down pit road, first of your leaders to do so. Justin Ray, Josh Dillon will follow. Andrew Skelnick over a second gap to Zach Rogers. And it's Ethan again. We saw Matthew Weeks now entering pit road. Was about to pass again, but we'll head down pit road instead. Justin Thompson, Jared Ray Hunton stay out another lap.
Provided he has a clean stop, he should pass again on the cycle. Let the tire fall off.
Matthew Weeks, standout part-time driver. When he shows up, he always has some speed, but I think his biggest issue is he won't comply with the broadcasting rules as Andrew Skelnick comes in. Hey, can you be on a call so I can interview you? He came pretty dang close from winning a race or two, and he's nowhere around to be interviewed. So hopefully somebody will tell him this time around, hey, you got to get your time.
I'll tell you, he is my teammate over at Laser Racing as the leaders pit road, make pit road here. But usually he stays in his own chat. He's actually never been in our Laser chat during a race with us. So the question does remain itself.
Jeez, we got to work on that. So Dylan Rosenberg stays out. He's the only driver yet to pit. You got to assume it's going to be this time by tire advantage by 1 lap. That could make the difference. We've seen it make the difference. The issue is Rosenberg did not start out as a top 10 guy for speed, so is there really much trade-off? Does he have a better notebook for this part of the run? Remember, we're on fixed setup, so sometimes all you got to do is adjust your line, and you can be as fast as the guy that qualified on pole, but can you do that realistically in one race? So here we go. Michael Mullins will pass Andrew Skelnick on pit exit, but over a 10-lap tire disadvantage for Michael Mullins. Skelnick should reel him in quick here. Michael Mullins, remember, he pit from right around the 13th position. Is this a net gain or a net loss with this short pit?
And as far as Rosenberg, too, no surprise to see him go as far as he can. He's always pushing the fuel to the limits, so to see him be the last car on pit road's a classic Dylan Rosenberg right there. Shout out, Dylan.
A lot of your drivers came out the way they went in. Andrew Skelnick running down Michael Mullins. Then it's Dayton Taylor, who pit on lap 36, so kind of a short pit. He has a 6-lap tire disadvantage to Andrew Skelnick. Then it's Zach Rogers, Matthew Weeks, Ethan again, Lilith Peters, Casey Carrington, Justin Thompson, Jared Ray Hutton, your top 10. And you can see just a hound right now hunting a squirrel. Andrew Skelnick has cut that gap in half immediately after pit exit.
Yeah, he's going to get him real fast here now. Over a 10-lap tire advantage to Mullins. Looks like Michael has about a 5 to 6 second gap to where he was running prior to the pit stop. So we'll see if it'll end up being a net gain when he makes his next stop. And if he sticks to that strategy, it'll probably come in about 15 laps.
So here goes Andrew Skelnick. He'll retake the lead over Michael Mullins. Dayton Taylor is 1.5 seconds back on another tire disadvantage, so he's going to get ran down by Zach Rogers here to help Matthew Weeks and Ethan again. Dayton Taylor pit lap 36. He also pit from right around that 15th position, so he's hoping for a net gain right now. And now we just kind of sit and wait. If this is a green flag start to finish scenario, you know, these guys can get back within range of Andrew Skelnick. I don't think a 2-second gap is that terrible, but you do need to put together some really good lap times, whereas Andrew Skelnick has just felt very flawless. He pulled away from Zach Rogers. There's a lot of situations where you go, okay, you know, Rowdy, you're 50 laps into a race. You can't call who the winner is going to be, but if we stay on this pace, we stay green flag, Andrew Skelnick could very well walk away with it because of the gap he set up in that first run. Flawless on pit road, do it right. This is how you win races where it's a war of attrition.
Absolutely, I agree, Rowdy. So far, it seems like the only driver really making up time on him is Matthew Weeks. He's cut it to 2.5 seconds now that he's kind of out there all alone. I think he's going to catch Dayton and pass him here on the old tires in a second, but he's gotten ahead of Ethan. He's sitting in a pretty good spot. Lap time wise, he seems to be, it looks like him and right now, him and Chris Rorell have the fastest laps around the racetrack.
And we already talked about it. Matthew Weeks, really good. I mean, phenomenally good at saving tire in a long run. And you're going to say, Rowdy, that was one race. That was one race where I watched a guy make up 18 positions on matched tires in one green flag run. Most guys don't make up that many positions throughout an entire race. So Matthew Weeks knows something we don't, and maybe being in the call by himself or not with his teammates is what he prefers. Maybe there's information he doesn't want to give away to you guys on that team. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Matthew's always just been, actually funny enough, Matthew could be even in a call with Zach. He and Zach Rogers used to be teammates back in the day, so it's possible that they're in a different Discord together, and that could be why Zach's here tonight with his former teammate Matthew. But yeah, Matthew usually kind of keeps to himself, but always, to me anyway, has always been clean and respectful and fast, and that's why we ended up bringing him on to Laser.
Matthew Weeks goes into fourth, and I know you're going to be watching that gap all race long between him and Andrew Skelnick. Zach Rogers matched tires with Skelnick, 2.3 seconds off. It seems like one set of corners he could gain And then the next set of corners, Andrew gets it back. They're pretty matched right now on tires and lap times.
Yeah, and it looks like now, finally, he clears Mullins, gets into the clean racetrack. Once Weeks does that, they both lost about half a second getting through that lap traffic right there. So now we'll see if they can start to make it back up as Weeks inside. Mullins here for third.
Matthew Weeks will clear. So 2 OGs running down a rookie. Andrew Skelnick, 2 career wins, can be on his way for a third. Outstanding rookie right now, and he didn't do too bad of a job at Sonoma on the road course. He was worried about that for himself.
Yeah, no, he's been very consistent really everywhere we've gone this year. He's had an all-around great rookie season. Like we were saying last week, probably one of the best, if not the best, rookie season we've seen here in the All-American Cup Series. Especially if he gets a third win today.
I would agree, and if he could continue that sort of stride and run, I mean, there is a All-American Cup Series Hall of Fame. This is something that's going to be remembered. Hey, remember when Uji Andrew Skelnick, his rookie season, went in and won 3 races? I mean, he had to battle all of the best. He's had to fight prime Justin Thompson when Justin made a couple of consecutive starts. He had to outrun your champion, Casey Carrington. He's always in front of the dudes who can match him on speed, like Michael Mullins and Dayton Taylor and Thomas Stokes. He's a very good driver, and again, class of the rookies. Nathan Jurgensen and Ethan again have definitely given him a run for his money in terms of being seen in the top 5.
Especially the last few weeks, Ethan's really turned it up. Had a bit of a rough start to the year involved in some wrecks, but I think Hutton passing Thompson there. But he's cleaned it up, and he's been fast. He's really been fast, and I don't know if that's maybe a little rub-off from his teammate, Jared Ray Hutton there. But the two of them have really put Iconic in a good spot in the team points as well.
Jared Ray Hutton, 9th. Justin Thompson, 8th. Casey Carrington, 7th. Now to the rear bumper of Dayton Taylor. 4-lap tire difference between them. Dayton on the way back right now, and you can see this entire group is reeling in Michael Mullins at the same time, who pit on lap 31. Ooh, Thompson close to Carrington.
You got the air off him there.
Self-admittedly, I don't know if I have any friends here. I kind of have a reputation. Is it little things like that or something bigger? But you just almost spun the chip winner. And sure, he didn't mean to do that, but Will Peters about did the same thing to Curtis White. So gotta be careful when you get these runs at Nashville. And I get it. It's very one-line dominant, it feels like. So you don't really want to put the car where you feel like you're going to have a disadvantage into the corner. You just got to be careful. Can't bump draft in these guys.
No. And Justin, he'll do that. He knows all kind of little secrets. Take the air off the car, side draft, all that kind of stuff. So he's just known to be aggressive, and I think that's maybe why he feels that way. Me and him have had our run-ins in the past, but over time, mutual respect for one another. I always used to, when he drove the 3, I'd joke he's my pops in the 8 car there, 3 in the 8. But now he's in the Jake's Junk Mobile. Shout out to Jake's Junk.
I don't know if I want to repeat that. I don't know what kind of watch list I'm going to get put on, but yeah. Shout out Jake.
I think that's some sort of company that he's associated with, so they should be okay.
I've seen a couple of Jake's Junk cars out there. I think his team has put that at least on the rear bumper. I've seen it a few times.
Yeah, sponsor at Cornerstone. Hutton kind of
late apex.
Interesting. Yeah, it seems like he's got the speed to run. He went up, tried to pass Thompson, but he couldn't get it done. He's just kind of sitting around where he is. He did pass Casey. He's up to 8th. I feel like Casey kind of like you said, just hanging out, making sure he gets to the finish. I think they got a little loose there with Justin. Just said, all right, let these guys battle. Watch that happen. No need for him to try anything crazy tonight.
Jared Ray Hutton building a run right now as Michael Mullins and Justin Thompson are side by side. But contact! Justin Thompson up the bankment I was going to say, Jared Ray Hutton has a nice late apex going on. It gives him a good run on exit. It keeps him out of the dirty air from the 99. And now we got 4 cars underneath the blanket.
Oh,
Blanket mixing tires. I'm slurring
Oh,
words.
it's 4
Cars are
wide.
sideways, 4 wide. Somehow Dayton Taylor, 36 compared to the 42s around him in terms of tires, gets the advantage. So Jared Ray Hutton, just hanging back there, will actually get 5th. Justin Thompson 7th. Casey Carrington 8th. So Dayton Taylor will have to play some defense, but he gets to just get back in front of those guys. He's going to send it off here into turn 1. Jared Ray Hutton run on exit. Tire advantage. You'll have the clear. Thompson's coming back. And I don't know if we just kind of missed the bottom there and it caused Justin to get doored and go up the track, but I don't know if I want to rattle Thompson's cage. The scariest driver to rough race with is a guy who's on a part-time schedule but drives like he's full-time, you know?
Oh, yeah. He's always going to give 110% out there. That's for sure. And I think that was the situation when Dayton just finally got sick of sitting behind Michael, tried to make a move on them, kind of the same time Justin tried to make the move, and in the end, Jared ends up the big winner, gets into past all of them, gets 5th.
Well, Justin Thompson will have the preferred line. He can even get to the inside of Jared Ray Hutton. Jared's not even late apexing like he was running behind Dayton Taylor. And Justin's now going to get a shot at the top 5. There is a little bit of a top line advantage right now. Maybe the bottom is getting a little slicker on exit for those tires. Sends it in there. And Hutton, you're going to see, is just methodically drive back around the top line. If you can't maximize your exit from the bottom line, you could just sit there and grate your tires and not go anywhere. Jared Ray Hutton was even able to re-clear again.
That is one thing. You can kind of run that middle to the outside and really make it difficult for someone to pass you if they're fairly equal on speed like these two seem to be. I mean, every time Jared had tried to make the move on Justin before, it was the same way. He'd get to his inside, kind of get almost clear and just couldn't get it done. Looks like Justin having the same issue here now, trying to get by Jared. Meanwhile, Andrew's up to almost a 3-second lead on Zach now.
So Andrew Skelnick, 2.8 seconds ahead of Zach Rogers. Matthew Weeks has been slowly reeling in the number 4 car. Ethan again 4th, and then again back in that battle with Jared Ray Hutton in front of Justin Thompson 5th and 6th. Casey Carrington, Chris Worrell now battling. Worrell slowly driving his way back up.
Yeah, since he pitted, Worrell had been consistently one of the faster cars on the track. Highest he's run all day in P7.
Justin Thompson now back to the inside of Jared Ray Hutton.
Such a hard pass to complete at a track like this.
Listen to the patience Justin has to have to keep it down there on that yellow line, just to throttle back up. And you can hear he had to kind of stay plateaued in the throttle for a moment, because if he continued, he was just going to drive up in front of Jared Ray Hutton and door him. Staying off of him, trying to bring it even. But whew, top line advantage. Doesn't matter what track you're at. It can be very frustrating for a guy that could even be, you know, Justin could be 4/10 faster in clean air. It means nothing if he can't throttle up on exit.
Yep, and that's why this track's so close there. This why it's so similar to Dover. You know, that not just because of the concrete, but the ability to be able to run that middle and really pinch that guy on the low side. And there's just such a lack of grip on the concrete that you just can't get the throttle down. Is Justin maybe gonna clear him there? Oh, nope.
Kyle, I got to step away and answer some real-life racing issues at the moment. Please continue to call this battle. If I'm silent, I don't answer you. That's why. Stand by.
You got it, buddy. as Jared continues to hold off Justin for that 5th spot, about 7.5 seconds off the lead. One of the better battles on the racetrack right now is, oh no, Jared got into the wall there. That's going to end that battle. Pushed it too high up the racetrack. Justin's going to get him for 5th. Looks like Michael Mullins now, lap 72. He has pulled off to make that 2nd pit stop. Curtis White also looks like he's pulled it into the pits. Not sure if he's calling it a night. 7 laps down now. Didn't have too much damage on his car earlier. Skelnick continues to lead by about 3 seconds over Zach Rogers. The highest running of those who short pitted the last run, Dayton 8th, Lilith 9th, Walker 10th. And then obviously we see, well, it looks like Casey has pulled off to make that pit stop as well now, along with Mullins and Jurgensen.
Of course, all the action happens when I have to step away. I'll give you guys an insight just so you don't think I'm like doing a line of something that everybody thinks I'm doing or whatever. We're conspiracy theories we're pumping into the general chat about the old commentator up here. But no, I was just told, hey, I know you got your bags packed. Pack them a different way if you need. We might be canceling an event. I'm sending you somewhere else to call some races. So
Ooh.
I had to delete some scheduled posts about a certain race day happening and make a text message to a videographer. You know all the crap that happens at 9:30 when you're just trying to watch some iRacing, right? Didn't love it, but Matthew Weeks has ran down Zach Rogers in the dying stages of this run. I think we're what, right around 8 to 9 laps from the window being closed?
Yeah, I'm surprised that, I guess the window's open now where you can probably make it on just the one more stop. As we saw Casey come down, he wouldn't have come down if he didn't feel he could make it on just the one more stop, I don't think. But for these guys in the front, I feel like they're probably going to run it at least another 5 or 6 laps. They've taken good care of their tires. Matthew, for sure, right now, the faster of these cars, trying to get by Zach. He's got to make quick work of him, though, if he's going to have any chance to catch Skelnick the way they're rolling right now. Skelnick's just cruising.
And now Matthew Weeks up the inside of Zach Rogers, even down the front straightaway. And once Weeks gets clear of Rogers and we get into what may be the second to last pit stop of the night, especially if we stay green, that's 2 full green flag runs. We get to see what Matthew Weeks has for Andrew Skelnick. I'm really excited about that. 3.5 seconds, yes, it's a lot, but if anybody could do it, maybe it's Weeks.
And it looks like he's going to clear Zach, so now we'll see. He lost another half second there, about 3.5 back. Wonder if he'll try to short pit Skelnick again to make up another. Looks like he made up about a second on him when he did that last time.
Skelnick does have to deal with dirty air. He's got lap cars in front of him, guys exiting pit road with all the strategies that are going on. And Matthew Weeks, just about a 10th gain since he made that pass from Zach. He had to deal with Craig Martin, so maybe Martin slowed him back down on that 10th. But nonetheless, we got to get another pit stop in for these guys. Craig Martin looks like he's on a fresh tire run here, so he's actually going by Matthew Weeks. That'll put dirty air on his nose. Andrew Skelnick, lap 42 tires. Matthew Weeks, lap 41, but we know Matthew's really good at saving. I don't know if he would really be that afraid to short pit a little bit more aggressively, knowing he just might have something more for him on the latter end of the run. And if it goes wrong, one more pit stop after that, I believe, to really make sure.
Yeah, and if you pit right now, you could split it even 40 more and 40 more. So I'd be surprised to see them stay out too much longer here.
Ethan again has also reeled in Zach Rogers. He just kind of stayed in tow with Matthew Weeks as Weeks ran down the 4 car. And this is a nice top 5 day out of Ethan again. We don't normally see him top 5 consistently You know, a lot of times he's incorporating some strategy to get up here, or he'll start up here and fade back. He's gaining right now in terms of positions. Great job for the rookie.
Yeah, these last few weeks, he's really turned it on. Like I said, kept his nose clean, and he's just been fast, saving his tires well. I mean, he's helped put Iconic Motorsports, like I said, he and Jared, a 2-car team in position for a team championship, perhaps.
And Matthew Weeks, the gap hasn't really changed. Now, chalk that up to just being right at the end of the run. Weeks had to battle more cars, and Andrew Skelnick had to worry about passing that were slower than him. But the fact that he's still staying right around 3.4 to 3.5, it shows that in the clean air, he's caught back up to Andrew. The tires are only a 1-lap difference to the advantage of Andrew. We just got to wait to see what this pit window does. We should be about there. I mean, we got to be close to E right now on those fuel tanks for these guys that pit from lap 41 to lap 42.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe a lap or two more at most, I think. Maybe to 86 on those 43 guys, but definitely the next couple laps, got to see them hitting pit road.
Jared Ray Hunt and Justin Thompson going back at it right before we hit pit road. Matthew Weeks.
Yep, there it is.
Now you just need a clean pit stop. Hit your lights here on your dash. You want to gain on the guys in front of you. You got to be perfect on pit road first before you can even get back out on the racetrack. So he's going to enter his box. Doesn't have to roll backwards or roll forwards. There's Andrew Skelnick. Here comes Justin Thompson. He'll enter pit road. And there's the 4 car.
Zach as well.
Rogers.
Yep. That tells me we'll probably, this time by, probably definitely see guys like Skelnick again, Hutton come in.
What I do like about Andrew Skelnick is he knows that information. He knows when those guys are pitting. He's probably staring at that relative. He has teammates around him to call out stuff for him. He wants to have the tire advantage, even if it's just 1 lap. It can make a difference when you have the speed. Man, he could be sputtering down the back straightaway. He'd still rather have the tire advantage. Now he'll head into pit road. Ethan again will follow, so will Jared Ray Hutton and Chris Worrell. And once again, Dylan Rosenberg stayed out 1 lap longer than the rest of the field last time. Yep. He's doing the same thing again here. Chris Worrell, by the way, guys, chalk that, Casey Carrington, your relative leader. He's the car on the most recent pit cycle, furthest to the front. So yes, he's P6 on the board, but when the cycle's over, he'll be P1, but he pit lap 72. Matthew Weeks just behind him, 11 lap fresher tires. He's going to eat them up.
Not a bad play for Casey, though. He was running, 9th or 10th. Gets him out of that traffic jam he was in. Make sure, like you said, just have a clean race, and he knows that championship's all his.
Andrew Skelnick exit a pit road right behind Casey Carrington. That's the battle for the relative lead. We just saw Dylan Rosenberg hit pit road. So now the battle is on. Lap 86 versus lap 82 tires. Shouldn't be a contest, but look at the gap from Skelnick to Weeks, Kyle.
He made up a lot of time on pit road there. It's down to, about a 1.5 second difference.
Well,
maybe just a little bit more.
Slow down Skelnick a little bit here, or at least just keep that car on the preferred line. Make us spend some time passing him. Man, Matthew Weeks looking like a professional out there right now. He might as well be playing it right. Andrew Skelnick, he's just going to wait and wait and wait for Carrington to come off the bottom so he can pass him.
Caught him in a tough spot.
1 second, from 3.5 seconds, Kyle, to 1 second. He is 2 lap over tires. How will it affect him?
I don't think 2 laps is really going to affect him too much. As Casey's fighting Skelnick hard there. Down to an 1/8 of a second now. Matthew's always been so good at saving his tires. Even at the end of the last run, after he had passed those cars, he was still making up time on Andrew. So I think he's in a pretty good spot. I think 2 laps probably going to even out. It's going to come down to probably that last pit stop, I would think.
So Matthew Weeks will probably have to deal with Casey Carrington the same. Casey's, hey, I'm on the strategy. That means that I need to not lose positions and let everybody by. I do have to run as good as I can to make it a net gain for me. But Matthew Weeks will get by a lot easier than Skelnick did. The gap is 1 second on track. Skelnick, he's driving like he's been the fastest guy all night long. But is Matthew Weeks faster? It's time to prove it if you're the 11 machine.
And it's really a difference in lines. Matthew just hooks that yellow line the whole corner. It looks like Andrew has a little diamond on his. So what'll it be? Will it be the diamond? Will it be the hook on the bottom? What's going to work out to save the best tires here?
The guys that have been making the most amount of passes on track late in the run were wrapping the bottom just like Matthew Weeks. Matthew Weeks has gained a lot of position so far tonight. That's how you save tire. Now, the diamond, the late apex, as I like to call it, works well when you're in dirty air and you're having to navigate traffic or battling a guy who's running your hook, line, and sinker, bottom feeder line. But if you have clean air, all you're doing is you're just burning up that right rear a little bit more. If you're not doing it correctly, you could be burning up that right front. Whereas wrapping the bottom, it's just a lot more even across the tires in terms of wear and heat. That's why guys can charge late in a run when they do this. Even if they lose positions at the beginning of the run, it's the right way to go about it. The gap 1.3 seconds. At the moment, Andrew has a slight advantage, but we're far from this run being over. We're only 10 laps in out of an estimated 42.
Yeah, I kind of figured here early on that just that couple lap advantage would, get him, a little bit of a gap here, maybe to a second and a half. But I think Matthew's probably going to sit right about at that gap and then maybe start reeling him in at the end of the run like last time. And then it'll all depend when they make that last pit stop. They could definitely short pit it a little bit as far as they went last time, the two of them. Flanagan goes a lap down there. First car to go.
Excuse me, go ahead.
As I said, he's the first car to go a lap down today just on speed that didn't have an issue. Obviously, Curtis and Dom had some issues. So really impressive by everybody to keep it on the lead lap today.
And I will say this is a huge improvement for Flanagan based off of last week. I think he had 70 X's at the end of Sonoma, and he thugged it out. He stayed on that track till the checkered flag drop when a lot of guys would have or already had for less infractions or wrecks quit. So not a quitter.
No, Jeremy's always in there going to try to get the best finish he can because he knows you just got to keep running. Never know if someone's going to wreck, or he's had some good finishes this year, guys just wrecking late in the races with all those late race cautions.
Closest battle on track, closest to the front right now, Michael Mullins, Justin Thompson. Where have we seen this one now? Michael Mullins. Quite a tire disadvantage. Right on 12 laps, they're touring. Mullins might even try to wreck him. What's going on, Kyle? He sent him to the fence.
He sure did. Oh, Rowdy. Justin is not going to be happy with that. Michael pulls off there.
I got to know what the flagman in the stand thinks about that one. I'm sure race control, if he didn't see it, is going to hear about it quickly. But Mullins and Justin Thompson were barely even battling so far that run, and it just seems like Mullins, that was egregious. He didn't plow. He drove him up. I don't think Justin, doored him like a failed side draft. He was on him, but Michael Mullins and Justin Thompson, that history goes back to, remember, Bristol. Michael Mullins on fresh tires trying to lap Justin, who was staying out, runs into the back of him, wrecks him. I know it didn't start there. That's the first time I saw it this season.
Wonder if let me go back and look at that. I wonder if they got stuck together going into the corner, because he was dooring him all the way into the corner. And then when they went off, they just didn't turn.
The best thing that we can do is grab him and manually go backwards. We can go ahead and do that. Here we go. So we've manually went back. We're going to have to sit right here. Not going to get a lot of information, but Justin is, I don't see contact here on Justin even gets out of his way.
Oh, Justin doors him a little there down the straightaway. Oh yeah, Michael doored him back.
It looks
Yeah,
like
they just
Mullins
stayed
is on
together.
him first. The wheel
Yeah.
is turned to the right for Mullins, and he's still
It
going
is.
up there and getting him. I don't think they were stuck together, Kyle. That's at least my take.
Yeah, it looked like after Justin doored him the first time, Michael just kind of said, all right, if you're going to door me, I'm going to door you back. And, well, he kept it going all the way till about middle of the corner there before he released him. Cost him a few spots for sure.
Oh. Well, I don't know what you think about that one, but Ethan again, 5th spot outside Dayton Taylor. Dayton Taylor, again, trying to run off that top line. Ethan again will clear, so again in the 4th. 10-lap tire advantage over Taylor. And Justin Thompson back to battling Jared Ray Hutton.
Yeah, now Justin going to be frustrated. He's going to be on a mission here. But yeah, I agree. I don't think, Justin gave him a little door down the straightaway there, and it almost looked like it was more that he had almost got loose because he tried to stay out of him off turn 2. And Michael just kind of sent him off in there. But that's 2 aggressive drivers. That's 2 of the more aggressive guys, I think, in the field. And pot meets kettle sometimes. Luckily, stayed green, though. Still 101 laps green at Nashville. Like I said, we had 14 cautions when we were here last year, or 2 seasons ago. So this is a huge improvement.
Yeah, and the closest we were to a yellow was just that incident right there. I mean, I'm surprised Justin Thompson didn't go down there and right hook him. And if it wasn't for Casey Carrington being right there watching it, maybe Justin was like, I'll just kind of let this be a post-race conversation.
It also looked like Michael did let up off the corner and gave up a couple more spots too, as if he kind of said, hey, I know I messed that up there. I probably should have done that. Don't wreck me. Now he's dropped, 4 or 5 spots. He's down to 13th now.
Thomas Stokes side by side with Lil Peters. Lil in 10th right now. Stokes trying to grab it. On the bottom, following is Walker McNulty in the 12th spot. 13 car, going to get a run off the exit. This is your closest battle, closest to the front.
Shout out to Walker. He's had a good run today. Been about 11th to 14th, 15th all race. Good run for him today. He's had, some bad luck this year.
2-door cinema club has something to do with a cat and a crown. I can see in the rear bumper of Stokes. There's multiple pictures of a cat on that car.
There is. It's a good picture. The cat looks feisty.
Is that his cat?
That's a good question. See, unfortunately, he doesn't drive for Kaiju Cat, or I'd say it was.
Maybe he's trying to have an alliance with the furries or something. I don't know.
It could be.
Walker McNulty. Michael Mullins on his tail. The difference in tires, 5 laps. I think Mullins is a little bit quicker on those 71s. That battle begins. Meanwhile, back at it, Jared Ray Hutton and Justin Thompson fighting again. They're trying to go around Casey Carrington, who's on much older tires.
Yeah, Casey just trying to hang on, get to that last pit stop. Probably, I would think, within the next 5 or 6 laps, he's going to make that pit stop, considering he short pitted the last one.
Justin Thompson utilizing the top line will clear into 6th. Jared Ray Hutton 7th. Casey Carrington 8th. Let's look back towards the front, Kyle. Andrew Skelnick has put about a 3/10 lead over Matthew Weeks since they were exiting pit road and got up to speed. So does Matthew Weeks still have something left? I mean, yeah, we got about 20 laps left in the run. We're not close to the final pit stop of the race, but it is worth mentioning because Andrew Skelnick hasn't allowed Matthew Weeks to really reel him in. Is Weeks going, okay, I can't put myself at a 2-lap tire disadvantage thinking I'm leapfrogging him? Or have we yet to see the best out of Weeks here with 20 to go in this window?
I'm wondering, is he's pretty much evened it out and never got over about a 1.5 seconds. Does he even think about maybe trying to come even earlier and getting the clean air and jumping him, trying to hold him off, if he doesn't think he's going to be able to kind of match him? It's just part of the guessing game here, where, I mean, really, you can pit right now, I believe, and make it to the finish. So everybody's in the window.
Do we see anybody get that risky, though?
I certainly think I think Mullins has to come soon. I think he'll definitely be the first one. In terms of the guys in the front, I think Dayton's probably the one you'll see peel off, try something. He's held on to 5th, pitted 10 laps before these guys, but he's held on better than Casey has. So I think he's probably the best chance at a super early pit stop here.
And I talk shit about the gap, but Kyle, it's a 1-second gap now, and Matthew had to deal with lap traffic. Maybe that plateau has began for Skelnick in terms of the advantage.
Yeah, Weeks always, like we saw that race when he passed, 20 guys in one run. Those last 10, 15 laps of the run, that's really when Matthew comes in. There's just something he does to save those tires. You can see him ripping that bottom. Skelnick still with that little bit of an arc. Tell you what, for 111 laps, though, to have these guys within a second of each other, we got a race here.
Drivers hitting pit road, by the way. Walker McNulty, Michael Mullins, Christopher Murphy, Casey Carrington on pit road as well. You're right, it's time, but is it the right moment? Because you can still go another 10 for the majority of the field.
Yeah, I think, like I said, for those guys who had kind of short pitted it, this is probably about where they had to pit now. Now it's like you said, it depends how much of a tire advantage. Week seems to be better later in the run. We're not going to have that long of a run to the finish, so I wonder, like you said, maybe, like I was saying, maybe he tries to really short pit him and just get the lead.
Dayton Taylor, first of your top 10 to hit pit road, Kyle. Does this kind of dog whistle to the others? Let's try it.
He was considering he pitted at lap 75, he was holding with Ethan again there. So he's definitely the most dangerous of the guys trying the early pit stop, but I mean, he was still about 8 seconds back. I think it's a good move to try to get third. Just not sure it's enough to get Matthew or Andrew.
Andrew Skelnick might be able to feel the pressure. Weeks is officially underneath a second.
Yeah, each lap it looks like he just takes a little bit more off. Really good on corner entry. It seems like that's where he makes up his time.
This whole lap, we're going to go on board with the 11 car, Matthew Weeks. And listen, very patient, waiting for the car to rotate, gets into the throttle at the right moment, and instead of driving off the right front on that exit, he's gliding on the right rear. It's a way to save tire, where some guys are still bearing the wheel and exit, trying not to hit the wall. He's having to counter steer a little bit. That's because he's purposely making the wheel spin as he cuts back down to the apex of the corner when he waits for the car to rotate. Very minute differences in a style that's now put him at nearly half a second.
Yep. Every corner it seems like now he's making up at a almost tenth, half a tenth. Really reeling him in, and you saw it on the onboard. Is Skelnick going to actually come to pit road first here? Reverse.
Andrew Skelnick into pit road, Kyle.
I think this forces Matthew's hand now. I think Matthew's going to probably have to pit here in the next lap or two.
Well, guess what he gets here? He's going to get the tire advantage. He was going to pass him on track.
Yep.
He'll hit pit road now. I think Matthew could win this race. My boss is trying to call on me about this certain situation. I got to tell him, hold on, something is brewing in the All-American Cup Series. I can't come to the phone right now. Please leave me a name, number, and a short message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, because Matthew Weeks might be winning this race.
Yeah, and he's also, we've noticed, seems like maybe a little faster off on pit road too. He's made up time every pit stop. This could be real close when they come off of pit road here.
So Matthew Weeks into his box. Perfect. Doesn't overshoot it. Zach Rogers, we're still waiting on him to pit. Same thing for Ethan again. Let's go grab Andrew Skelnick. 8th place.
He's in some traffic as well there as he gets pinched by Jared. Yep.
So Skelnick will get by. Here's Matthew Weeks exiting pit road. Here we go.
And I'll tell you what, he's right there with a tire advantage now. Gonna be still about a second back, but with the extra lap tire advantage, Matthew's in a good spot.
Andrew Skelnick, your relative leader, more cars hitting pit road. There goes the 4 of Zach Rogers. And I don't think it's far-fetched to say that because we're at a weird spot in this race, it is kind of late, other people can inject into this battle for the lead if they hit the strategy right, or if they're trying maybe some sort of off-color strategy. If a yellow comes out, if Ethan Again or Dylan Rosenberg are still out there, there's a lot going on right now. Don't think it's only Skelnick and Weeks, but it's looking like that if things do not change.
And at some point, they're certainly going to have to hit some lap traffic too. I would think at some point in this run, once it cycles through, there was a few guys, 5 or 6 of them that were 22 to 28 seconds back. So within range that these guys would catch them on this run. I can't believe we've gone 120 laps green.
This entire race green after how it started, honestly, isn't that surprising, Kyle. You know, we went single file about 12 laps in, and guys recognize it's one line around, and the only way we had to stop from wrecking the car in front of you is if you understood, hey, don't drive through them. You know, Lilith unfortunately got into Curtis White. One car spin to the grass, doesn't bring out the yellow. And then we have an ego battle between Justin and Mullins about who's not going to turn their wheel and who will. Both of those could have resulted in yellows, and we obviously know, especially in the All-American Cup Series, cautions breed cautions. But tonight, everybody is on their bestest behavior, except for maybe one. But here we go. Matthew Weeks around Ethan again. That's your leader right now, still yet to pit. So currently, your relative leader, first car on the most recent pit cycle, is Andrew Skelnick. 0.7 of a second behind him. 1 lap tire advantage, maybe the fastest car on track. Matthew Weeks behind. We still got to wait for a couple of guys to pit. Chris Worrell is still out there. Ethan again has hit pit road. Dylan Rosenberg, he's still out there. But it's Andrew Skelnick, who is 4th on the board, first, relatively.
Yep, and like you said, holding about 0.8 of a second on that lead there. Be interesting to see when that tire advantage kicks in for Matthew, if he's just kind of hanging out right now. Seemed like we said, he's faster late. There. He did. Using all the racetrack.
And maybe somebody needs to remind him, hey, you have the tire advantage. You were able to reel in Skelnick. Settle down a little bit. He might be burning up a little bit too much tire when he is still faster. Skelnick's going to push hard. You know this. You can see by how much he's opening up his entry. Look at how the car is skewed on exit. He has a lot of wheel in that car. We'll even go on board with him right now. I'm very confident in this take right here. He's driving hard. See, he gets okay, well, he proves me wrong by being a little bit more patient there, but just a lap before, he had that wheel buried. I could tell by where the left front was pointed.
Yeah, drove it in a little deeper here, I think. Oh, no, now he's trying to match Matthew on the bottom, it almost appears.
He might have the broadcast on in the background. That might have helped them out a little bit, or maybe he recognized Weeks brushed the wall and is trying to settle in, and he's a smart driver. He probably realized he was pushing a little too hard and goes, hey, I still have the dominant line. I'm still the second fastest car out here tonight. I can do what it takes 25 laps to go, Kyle. It's a lot to get passed by a dude unless he uses the bumper when you're on that top line. The only thing Andrew Skelnick can let Matthew Weeks do is get even with him, because when he gets even with him, he can abuse the top line advantage.
I think that's the one thing he knows is he just can't let, if Matthew does get there, can't let him get the top. As Varela finally makes his pit stop here, I think Rosenberg will be next. I think that's going to be the key. Is we saw Jared and Justin doing it earlier. You can hold somebody off in that middle lane for 5-10 laps, so that just might be all he needs. Unless Matthew puts the bumper to him, of course.
And I don't know if these guys really have an on-track relationship, if they've been in other leagues, but they have not battled each other, at least for a top 2, top 3 position based off of my memory in this season of All-American Cup Series. Of course, this is Andrew's rookie season, so it's all we have to base off of. If they have history in another series, we don't know about it. But, and I will say this, for a race to go green flag from lap 1 to now lap 29, 2 cars battling for the lead at the end. We don't know who's going to win it. Very impressive, Kyle.
It is. It's especially usually when these things get strung out like this, somebody's just running away with it. But this probably setting up for a pretty good finish. I would think Matthew's just. I know Matthew. He knows he's still got time. He's probably not burning his stuff up, just hanging out. Gonna really push those last 10 laps. Maybe hope Andrew burned it up like he did the last couple of runs.
Dylan Rosenberg yet to pit. He's just going to stay out to that tank. Literally hits E. Not always a bad strategy. Andrew Skelnick.
Nope.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's a classic Dylan strategy. Just try to catch the caution here. It was running, mid-pack. Figured, why not? Let's give it a go. There it is. Yep.
So now Andrew Skelnick will officially become the leader. Matthew Weeks in second. Dirty Air in front. Half a second between the pair. 20 laps to go, Kyle. Who you got your money on?
Well, I want to say Andrew, but I got to go with my teammate. I got to go with Matthew. I don't think he doesn't have a win this year. Part-time this year. Always fast. Seems like he's been either causing or caught up in something. And I think if he can keep this one clean, I think he's got it. I think he's got this thing on the long run here.
Here's the difference. Andrew Skelnick, Matthew Weeks at the flag stand. They'll both navigate Craig Martin. And Andrew Skelnick, man, even if he loses this race, it's still a really great night. And maybe the mistake was giving Matthew Weeks the 1 lap advantage. Maybe you still drag him out a little bit longer, make him short pit you again. Or was he really worried about the gap Weeks has been gaining during the pit cycle where he said, I got to go first?
I think it was. I think he thought if Matthew got ahead of him on the cycle, he wouldn't be able to get him back. So I figured he felt like he had to just stay ahead of Matthew no matter what and make him pass him on the racetrack.
And Andrew Skelnick, he missed the bottom there. Maybe he's decided to move up a line. If I was him, I'd try to mirror drive Matthew a little bit, make sure he's always in dirty air. Half a second, you can't affect it. Can he get the late apex? It appears he will, but Matthew Weeks still has a lot lower of an entry. Now the difference between the lap times are going to be so minuscule in what happens behind the wheel. It just strives you to be perfect. It demands you to know what you're doing and have 100% focus. There's no longer a sense of, all right, just kind of run my line, lay back, I'll reel in this guy. And, Andrew has been top-notch all night long, and he is going to be staring at that mirror and at that relative more than his own windshield. Matthew Weeks needs to put that air where you get put that nose where you get the most amount of clean air to it, but also not scrub his tires. 15, 16 now laps to go in this race. Weeks, the best at closing in at the very latest. Andrew Skelnick needs to be on his toes here. It's still been half a second, but get this. Where the dirty air buffer begins, Weeks hasn't fallen off. He's still there.
I think, too, part of Skelnick kind of being able to hold that gap right now is him running that diamond, kind of moving up a little, but it's probably wearing his stuff up. Only 15, 14 to go, though, so does he feel like it's late enough where he's going to have enough to just hold him off here?
The lines have not really changed. Neither has the gap. I think Skelnick is a little bit stronger in turns 1 and 2. Weeks is just being more patient on the bottom through 3 and 4. Oh man, I think the tides are shifting. Andrew Skelnick just gained half a tenth back on Weeks that time by.
It looked like Matthew missed the turn 3 entry a little bit. Skelnick gained on him there. Shout out to Dayton. He did make that strategy work pretty well, by the way. Running P3, 2.5 second advantage to Zach Rogers. Looking good to maybe hold that spot. And of course, the perpetual champion, Casey Carrington, holding on to a P8, just what he needed to do today.
Jared Ray Hunt, your pole sitter, lost positions early, but he's still going to bring it home in the top 10 there in 7th. He said he's doing a really good job in the team points division.
Yeah, and I'm thinking
Again,
they're
quiet day in 5th. I think that's a good day for Ethan again, your rookie.
It sure is, and I'll tell you what, in the team points, I know they're fighting with RPM there, and it's been a tough day for RPM. Mullins 10th, obviously Curtis with that incident earlier, Thomas 12th. Not going to be a great points day for those guys.
And it seems like Curtis White called it quits. He didn't suffer any damage, but I think he just decided he didn't want to participate any longer, and he's pulled the car into the garage, so that's a 26th place finish for him.
Yeah, and that'll obviously, not that he, with the way Casey's running, was going to have a chance at the championship today, but probably was going to hurt his chance at finishing 2nd in the points. I know his teammate Michael was all over him. A couple others up there. I think Jared was up there in points as well. Skelnick, of course.
All righty. Matthew Weeks, a 10th back to his advantage now, coming to 10 to go. He's brought it back.
Dirty air.
Walker McNulty in front of Skelnick. 10 laps to go. Here's your difference at the flag stand. Weeks is coming.
Yeah, Andrew's going to need to make pretty quick work of Walker here.
And it's still probably another lap till he gets him. Now Walker will get all the way up out of the way.
Yep, just going to let them go.
Is he hurt? Weeks on exit. Oh, Weeks had to shallow it up.
A little bit.
If you're going to get out of the way of the leader, I'd probably want to remove the brake there and let Weeks clear him. But that 1/10 Weeks out on Skelnick, Kyle, he just lost it off of that corner exit. That is how minute these differences are.
Yeah, and it looks like Matthew really, like you said, he hit that wall, got to about half a second, can't really do much more with it right now. The run not going to be as long as the other runs where we saw the fall off from Andrew late. He might be able to hold him off here, get it done.
Yeah, I think if there was an advantage to Matthew, he just lost it. And Andrew Skelnick pulling away right now. And he has Jerry Flanagan in front. Probably be 2 laps till he really gets to his rear bumper. The Weeks' opportunities have just slipped away. He's kept a consistent 5/10 of a gap to Andrew. Not able to get really underneath it. He worked on it for a lot of laps to get to a 0.4. Just for Walker McNulty trying to let both of them by, shallows him up on exit, and gives it back.
Yeah, and actually surprised they're not really reeling in Flanagan as fast as I thought they would right now. Looking like if it stays like this, I think Andrew's got this thing.
What a win this would be for him. 3 career wins in a rookie season. Done his best to stay out of drama. He's been involved in a few incidents, but nothing major, nothing criminal. He's just been a really good driver, someone that is probably going to be a recognizable face when you come around AACS a lot. He's going to earn a lot of respect from just being up here. He always gives a good interview.
Yep, and racing first 8 races or so, however many I did, he was always clean on the racetrack as well.
5 to go at the flag stand for Andrew Skelnick. Matthew Weeks He is now appearing to be better in 1 and 2, but then Skelnick gets it back in 3 and 4. That's flip-flopped since the beginning of this run.
Just can't get within about, like you said, he gets it down to about 4/10 and then just gives it right back. Can't get any closer.
Before we get to the end of this race, Andrew Skelnick, P1, Matthew Weeks, second. 8-second gap back to Dayton Taylor, who on that strategy has seemed to work out for him. Zach Rogers, fourth. Ethan again, fifth. Justin Thompson, sixth. Jared Ray Hutton, he's in the 7th spot. Chris Worrell, 8th. Michael Mullins back here in 9th. Rounding out your top 10 at the moment, Lilith Peters. Casey Carrington right there on her rear bumper, followed by the 76 of Carlos Steele. Hey, haven't talked about him all day, but he's just outside the top 10. Great run for Corliss. Thomas Stokes, 13th. Krista Murphy, 14th. Casey Carrington down pit road.
Oh.
He should have enough fuel by 1 lap. What's going on here?
I'm not quite sure what's going on here. This is a interesting decision from Casey.
Well, that'll guarantee Lilith into the top 10. She does have Carlos Steele behind, about 3/10. Then it's Christopher Murphy, Nathan Jurgensen, Christian Strader round out that top 15. So Casey Carrington, I don't know. Remember, we're on fixed setups. You can't really have a fuel issue, but was he finding a way to burn so much fuel he had to pull it into pit road? Maybe it's maybe there's a situation happening that doesn't have anything to do with, well, he's slow rolling to his box and now exiting. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Splash
not
and
really.
go. That's what it was.
Maybe he had his. As we get the white flag, yeah, maybe he had his auto fuel on and it came up short on him. I'm not sure, but it looks like Andrew Skelnick gonna lead this thing through 1 and 2 here on the final lap, and he's well on his way to his 3rd win of the season.
I wonder if he could feel the pressure. We'll ask him, but sweating head to toe. 3 career wins for the rookie. Second to last race of the season. Everybody's going to remember what Andrew Skelnick has done this year. Checkered flag for the 56th, 3rd time this season.
Saving tires, dude. Whew.
Who, Weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn. I thought he was gonna have me.
Good
Thank you,
job.
man.
Kyle, the first things out of Andrew Skelnick's mouth there was obviously you could tell sighs of relief and going, man, Matthew Weeks can save tire. A couple of other words in there, but Andrew Skelnick, he knew that the pressure was on. He could feel it. And now he's going to get a chance to burn it down here on the front straightaway. Winner, the Tennessee 200. There's 150 green flag laps at Nashville, and he'll get it done. One of the hardest races to win, I think, is that just a classic single line 1.5 miles. Matthew Weeks 2nd, Dayton Taylor 3rd, Zach Rogers 4th, Ethan again 5th, Justin Thompson 6th, Jared Ray Hutton 7th, Chris Worrell 8th, Michael Mullins 9th, Lilith Peters rounds out your top 10. Andrew Skelnick will bring it to a stop. Let's talk to him. Andrew Skelnick, Kyle, and Rowdy up in the booth. You have a copy.
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
Man, Andrew, 3 wins this season as a rookie. Did you have to fight the hardest for this one?
I think so. Weeks is just such a monster on the long runs, and he's so good. Like the second to last pit stop, he gained a full 3 seconds on me, and I thought after that he was running us down on the long run all day, and I thought the bed was made. So tried the short pit there early. He came in, got a better entry than me, and just last run we were just nose to tail whole time.
Kyle, could you feel the pressure? And I'm going to give us some insight. We were talking about it up here in the booth, me and Kyle. Remember back to, I believe it was Legacy, Texas, where in just 1 green flag run, Matthew Weeks saved enough tire to pass, I think it was 18 cars on the green flag run. And is that kind of playing to your mind when you see him cutting that gap to you? Because that's unconventional. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Legacy, Texas, or there's a track earlier where I got off to early lead, and he just ran me down. That was nothing, and I thought just it's gonna happen again, and he's gonna pull out the victory. But yeah, man, he's such a damn good racer.
Well, Andrew, congratulations on the win. The Tennessee 200 here at Nashville. A lot of people are going to talk about this one. Green flag start to finish, and you dominated. Way to hang on.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, congrats, Andrew.
Send him back down. Kyle, Matthew Weeks, bring him up to the booth. He's finally here to be able to do an interview. Lead it.
Matthew.
Yo.
Matthew, Kyle, Rowdy up in the booth. Got a copy, yeah, finally. Finished one of these things. P2, thought you were going to run him down there at the end. Tell us, talk about it.
Yeah, I made a mistake in qualifying, so I kind of started right where I didn't want to start. I think it was like 10th or 11th, and I was behind, but we felt pretty good. I got up there, and then I noticed the first stop, I was pitting a lap before everybody. I was running out of fuel before them, so. And then I think I jumped out in front of Zach or something right there on the second to last run, and I felt like that one extra lap could be all right. And then it looked pretty good, and we caught him. And then it just that dirty air. The leader has such an advantage with the clean air. Even with there's some lap cars in the way, he still gets that little advantage. And I was just getting a lot of dirty air, and I was driving really, really hard. And I think I just cooked the right front a little too much. He caught me off guard pitting early. I was going to hit him with the lap early, like lap 119 or 120, but he beat me to it. So I think that was what really got it. But that was fun, man. That was a hell of a race.
Oh, it was fun. You were able to keep it close for them, and yeah, I was teammate telemetry or telepathy maybe. I was thinking the same thing. You were going to try to short him again because I figured if you could get the lead and get out in front of him, you were going to hold it. But yeah, great run, Matthew. That was a great job, and finally finished one of these things without an issue.
Yeah, it's been a rough season. I haven't ran the full season. I was going to run full time, and then the elite league I run in, they do IndyCar on Thursday nights, and one of my buddies got me roped into running the oval side of that, so I was doing that, and I was trying to win tonight, and I think next week. I think it's Atlanta. These are my last 2 races this year in All American. I'm going to take a season off. I got some obligations on Thursday night, for the B season, as you call it, doing something else. I'm going to do race control for something. So I really wanted to win tonight. It's one of my favorite tracks, so it was good. I'm sweating. I am literally pouring down sweat from that race.
Well, Matthew, I will say you had Andrew Skelnick sweating as well. We do a thing where when you cross the finish line and you win, I join in on your team comms to listen to the Checkered Flag team radio, and the first thing that was out of his mouth, Matthew, was, man, he could save tires. He was relieved he made it to the checker. You added the pressure. Congratulations, Matthew. I know you didn't win it. You wanted to, but this is going to go down as a very memorable race because of your effort and how you were able to drive through the pack. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I hope everyone that watched it, hope you enjoy it. That was one of the best Nashville races I've ever been a part of. So I hope they liked it.
We'll send Matthew back down. Rounding out your podium, he's waiting patiently, and like a good man, he's keeping his car on track, so he has something to dump the camera on. Dayton Saylor, Kyle talked about it. He noticed, hey, look at this strategy. It's working for Dayton. And for this final run, you were able to hang on to third. Great job.
Mickey Mouse P3, I'll take it. First laps on the track were about 10 minutes before qualifying, so not bad. Congrats to Casey on the championship. He locked it up. So he finally got one in an actual season and not a year long. So good on him.
Well, you did a really good job at putting yourself in the right position. It seems like every week this season, even when you have speed where you're top 3, you still make the right decisions to put yourself in a position. And then when you're a guy that could be outside the top 10, you find a way to utilize strategy to get there. What goes into your mind when you go into this race where it's one line dominant, you're starting deep in dirty air? How do you prioritize getting that track position?
Truthfully, just don't try and fuck with the squirrels too early. I mean, they were beating the shit out of each other back there for the first 10, 15 laps. And once I saw Mullins pit really early, I was like, I think that's a little too early. And then I kind of followed him down 5 laps later and got all that track position. So I think I just have a good understanding of the tire model. A lot of people burn their shit off 15 laps into the run, and I just kind of breeze.
Well, that you do. You did a really good job. Dayton Taylor, congratulations on the top 3.
Thanks much.
We'll send him back down. Well, Kyle, it's been one heck of a time with you up in the booth once again. Sadly, we only have one more of these deals. And thank you so much for coming out. This was a great race to call. Green flag start to finish, and we were on the edge of our seat for the last 10 laps.
We sure were, but I think we've got one more guest to bring in, Rowdy. I think we ought to talk to the champion.
We got to talk to the champ. Let's do that right now. Let's get him up here.
Casey Carrington, the champion. Kyle and Rowdy up in the booth. Congratulations.
Yeah, I feel like I really earned it tonight with just an excellent performance. I mean, it's really hard to argue that, I didn't earn it tonight I just had them covered out there.
Yeah, I figured you were just kind of taking it easy, running, 7th to 10th all day, just making sure you short pitted there, got out of the way of everybody, just ran your race. Run out of fuel late though? What happened? What was the extra pit stop there?
Yeah, I was salty about it, but I said literally with 80 to go or whatever when I pit super early, I was like, well, championship's clinched because Curtis is out of it. I'm going to play some games and pitted early, both runs. And I was just messing around with my fuel thing like halfway through the second to last run and forgot to fix it and ended up like 3 laps short. So, of course, the one, like any time when we need a caution for me, we go caution free. So, go figure on that one. But, yeah, I wish I could have won the championship in more climatic fashions. I saw Curtis get dumped on like lap 4 with no caution. So, that was, I pretty much knew right then, unless my power went out like Drew's, I pretty much had it clinched. But, hey, at least pressure's off. I can go to Atlanta next week and really have some fun.
Well, congratulations, Casey, on the championship and a great season. We can't say unclimatically. I still love that World 300 win. That was awesome. The whole league behind you. And winning the championship in your own series after you just maybe felt like you were struggling for the first half. Really good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alrighty, we'll send him down. Kyle, that's going to officially end tonight's show. Next week, Atlanta, and we're done.
Yeah, we got one more of these bad boys, and man, I can't wait. It's been super fun to be up here in the booth with you, and yeah, I can't wait to do one more, and I can't wait to get back on the track this fall.
Oh yeah, stay away from those golf carts, or maybe just stay away from old Dominic Russo. See you guys, same time, same place next week, Thursday night All-American Cup Series season finale from Atlanta. Have a good night.